very top, it says Z-Way, George Santos. If you listen to this show, you know that about a week ago, I didn't exactly know who George Santos was. I was familiar with the name because it's in the zeitgeist. It's all over the place. I was somewhat familiar with the idea that he was frowned upon by the segment of the population that I live in, which is mostly Democrat voting, liberal, urban dwelling, largely, black, brown, like people who are around my corners of the internet don't like George Santos, but do seem to enjoy the circus of George Santos. That's something that I'm coming to understand. Called my sister right before the show to say, I'm sorry, let me contextualize. There's a 17-minute Z-Way interview between Z-Way and George Santos. They're sitting in a studio that looks like Z-Way probably rented it somewhere in New York City, I'm imagining, because George Santos, as he reveals in the conversation, is from Queens, which is where I live. Z-Way, I think, lives somewhere around here because people see her out in New York sometimes. And the first place that I went once I started watching the interview was I checked the amount of views that the interview has. I think the interview has been out for about a day. It is approaching 1 million views. So it has been a widely viewed interview. That's not even to speak of how the clips are doing and buzzing and going around the internet and Twitter or whatever you guys call it. It seems to be doing well. So the first thing I sort of checked off on the list as I watched this interview was mission accomplished by both Z-Way and George Santos, okay? These two people, and this is sort of what I see in media, and as someone who is, I'll just start sort of, now that I'm not reading my DMs anymore, fuck it, I'm just going to own this. Like, as a public figure, I am noticing the exhibition match, as I will call it, the self-promoted boxing match between public figures as a way to make a quick check and stay alive in the zeitgeist, right? Z-Way, as we know it to be, I'm going to say some things, and some of you all who feel defensive just by nature of that person has my same identity, you are going to feel a nature to want to defend Z-Way, and that's cool. Fuck it. Try. So Z-Way is, as George Santos is, someone who is doing the job of clicks for money. Guess who else does that job? Now, in doing the job of clicks for money, which also means like performance for money, which also means like being a character of yourself for money, you decide at some point where the line is on how dirty you are willing to get your hands. But you cannot sit across from and interview someone who interviewing conversation is it is a contact sport. Like you sit across from somebody, you exchange vibes, you expand, just like having somebody in your living room. When you walk out the door, or when they walk out the door, the person leaves, but the spirit is still there. The energy is still there until it's gone. Now, to be a little less woo-woo about it, doesn't matter who the fuck you are, Z-Way, Oprah, Charlemagne, give me some white people. Who's the white guy with the big hair who's like been doing radio for 40 years?
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern, Joe Rogan,
yeah.
Like Chad. You cannot invite people into your living room, which is what you're doing when you set up a conversation like this. You cannot have someone over and then, no matter how recklessly or how incisively or attacking or undermining you think yourself to be in said interview. I didn't know I was going here with this, but this is what I actually feel. No matter how much you try to present yourself as one of the good guys and then one of the bad guys, you both entered into a business relationship to make money off of the rest of us, right? You entered into an advertising relationship as business partners. Z-Way here, George Santos here. Z-Way's team or whoever's producers made a point to put a panel at the front of this interview that says no congressmen were paid for this interview, even though George Santos tried, right? They're trying to like wipe their hands clean. Like, don't worry. we didn't help George Santos here. We didn't pay George Santos. We didn't pay George Santos. You know who paid George Santos?
You.
Me. Us.
Yes.
The eyeballs are the way that you pay. You've heard it a billion times, right? The product isn't free. You are the product. Your eyeballs, your click is the thing that gets them paid. Maybe only Z-Way gets to monetize those 1 million views from the last 24 hours in a direct way. Maybe those advertisers come to her YouTube channel and they say, hey, Z-Way, we're Sprite. We'll pay you X amount of dollars for your next advertisement. But George Santos gets to float on to the next interview and the next interview on the next interview off the product of knowing that he can generate clicks. That is his product. He says as much in the interview. There is a clip that has been going around. I'm not going to, fuck it. Can we play it?
Yeah, we can play it.
Let's play it.
All right, here we go. Wow.
He said it.
Wow.
He said it, okay? Z-Way, listen. I like Z-Way. I told y'all that. I told you I like her. She's smart as hell. She knows her shit. She comes prepared. Her editing team, that was the thing that blows me away sometimes. Her editing team is phenomenal. Like she has been able to communicate to them exactly what she wants as a style of humor. And by the way, this is a credit to her and the editors, but like she knows exactly how to time her sense of humor. And there are people copying her now. I'll stop naming who they are because they're already big as shit, but like there are people copying that sense of humor right now. It's not like she made up like deadpan, slow tension, whatever, but she's really good at it, okay? Z-Way is phenomenal. I think Z-Way got bust down on this one. She thought she could have George Santos on her platform. I watched the same thing happen with Bomani Jones and Jake Paul. She thought she could have him on her platform, and because she's witty, she's smarter than him, she's prepared, she thought she could make him look like a clown on her platform. And please don't ever fucking get this part twisted, and profit while doing so, right? Mm-hmm. Profit by what? Now I'm looking at Josh because Morgan ain't there. So Josh over here, so I'm going to keep looking at Josh. Now, the problem is that the veil has been lifted, and anyone who plays the public figure media appearance, podcast, exhibition, public figures dating each other for one night just to get a big rating and move on to the next thing, like, you got to do it right now because Hollywood is so fucked up. It's going to, maybe Z-Way will get another show, but right now I got to imagine, like, this is a big part of her income is selling directly to advertisers her own platforms. But you got to know that when someone sits in that seat across from you, you two are together. You guys are business partners. It can only get so sticky. The interview was good. It was cute. It was funny. But she didn't even get at his ass until he said that thing. Josh hasn't watched it yet, but he says that thing. And then the next thing that comes after it, because she knows she's been crossed up, the next thing that comes out of her mouth is dark, which is she starts pointing at him, basically asking if he's ready to go to prison. Because she feels away. Because she got on her platform. She invited a crook on her platform. She danced with him. Then he undermined her in a way that was embarrassing. And then she tried to get one off on him. But it was too late. Like, he said it. He didn't say, she said, how can we make you go away? First of all, that question in and of itself lacks self-awareness. Like, you have him in front of 1 million eyeballs right now, asking him how to get him to go away. You are a media executive. You are a media expert. You are fantastic at what you do. You should know that the way to get him to go away is not to invite him into a studio and then publish a YouTube video of a conversation between the two of you. That is not the way to get somebody to go away. His response is so telling. He does not say, stop inviting me on your platforms. He doesn't say, stop inviting me to your shows. He says, stop inviting me to your gigs. This is a job that we do for money. Stop inviting me to work with you. He said it. He said it. And now that it has been said, like, I don't know, for me personally, I don't know that I can see. This was two people who both wanted to be seen as the smarter person. They both wanted to be seen as the Joker, right? They both wanted to be seen as like, I'm the person who, subverts society. I'm the person who subverts media. I'm the person who is really real, who really tells the people what it is. But he said the thing, and she didn't say the thing. She didn't say it. She tried to get in front of it. We didn't pay him to do this. And he's not a fucking idiot, and neither am I. You did pay him to do this. You gave him his next gig and his next gig and his next gig because that's what it is. Like, that's the game. So I felt lied to by both of them, by the conceit of this thing as, oh, this will be like, this is just a wrestling match. There's no underlying like foundational truth or, this is for the betterment of the republic. This will inform the people. There isn't that. This is dancing. This is tap dancing together. This is holding hands. Uh-oh, Morgan's not here, so I might get dirty. But like this, like, he didn't get paid for it because we paid for it. Like, he didn't get a check from Z-Way because he's gonna get the check from us. And as a dude who's sitting here telling us he's got Botox and lip fillers, and he's had multiple procedures on his body to look a certain way. He talks a certain way. He's so nebulous in the formatting of what his points of views are. Like, you can't tell exactly where does he stand on what. Who does he stand next to? What does he believe in? What, like, who are you? What are you? As I was describing it to my sister before I came in here, I was like, he's like one of those KFC chickens that's just all breasts and thighs. It's like genetically mutated to just give us exactly what we asked for and nothing else. Like, it doesn't even have a head. It's just fucking breasts and thighs walking around. Like, that's what he is for 2023. He's literally just giving us what we clicked on, just giving us what we asked for. And Z-Way was supposed to be the hero we needed to sit across from him and be too subversive for him to subvert, and he got under there.
Yeah, he won.
I'm
sorry, he won.
He got under there because he told the fucking truth in the most important moment. He probably lied on every other piece, but he said the thing. If you don't want me to have to get bigger and bigger and bigger like the giant fish balloon on Powerpuff Girls, like, if you don't want that, then stop trying to eat with me. Stop trying to make a meal with me. Stop trying to get busy with me. If you don't want that, stop inviting me as a feature on your songs, because that's what it is every time we invite someone on one of these things. There is no such thing as this person against this person. It's these two people fucking doing the Hungry Hippo shit in our pockets. So that's what Z-Way did.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you feel like she needed to do this? Because I almost like this is a hindsight thing that I'm thinking about, but I'm just like, obviously we don't know what her next project is. I mean, she might have something lined up. We don't know.
We don't know.
But like, I'm wondering, like, because she's really smart. And and seeing that clip for the first time made me feel really sad, because that was the thing. I was like, oh, he won this.
He won.
Yeah, he won. So I'm just making me feel like, was that worth it for her? Like, what is she? I mean, I know what she's getting out of it. Yes. She's obviously getting the clicks and stuff like that. It's still, she still did her thing.
Right. Was the juice worth the squeeze?
Was the juice worth the squeeze?
That's a great question. So let's examine it. The first thing I want to be clear on is, he won the tete-a-tete. He won the exchange. Like, he won the little sparring session of the voices and the brains in that moment. But I can't at the same time say they're teammates and also that one of them won. They both won.
Yeah,
they did, because ultimately, let's say I invite somebody in this room and we go back and forth on something that I think I'm smarter at, or I think I'm more clever at, on this platform, right, that I own with Morgan. That's it. Like, they come in here and they get one off on me. And it's like, oh, egg on your face, Chad. Like, you look like a dumbass. Like, you blah, blah, blah. But then I get to go publish this wherever I want. The clicks go crazy. It's viral. I gain 100,000 followers overnight, like, or whatever, just make up a number. These things are nuanced. It's not just like, to me, it's not just a win or a loss. It's like, she probably felt embarrassed in the moment, and I could feel her embarrassment because she came to shoot right back at him with something hurtful. But like, ultimately, when she gets a little distance, and I think when the emotions settle in from all of it, which they already might have at this point, she might have shot that thing a week ago. Who knows? She is now holding an asset that is extremely valuable. And does she need that right now? Maybe. Like, the industry is really chaotic. I've said it in a few different ways. A lot of people who make $2 million a year spend $2 million a year or more. A lot of people who make $10 million in a year have so many liabilities that they're not prepared for a year like this, which is almost a lost year for people.
Yeah.
They're not really prepared for that. She probably needed to get something off just to keep people come and go. They disappear. Like,
fast.
I just saw a John Sally interview on a podcast, and I was like, oh yeah, John Sally. He was like Charles Barkley before Charles Barkley. And now, where is he? Who knows? So I don't think in a net way for her business, I don't think Z-Way took an L here. I think Z-Way did herself a service. It's just the nature of this beast is such, as an example, like I said, I can't read my DMs anymore.
Yeah.
That is something that I now have to sacrifice because I wanted my thing to get bigger. And it's now gotten bigger, and now I lose one layer of connection to the audience that I used to have. Because the nature of this beast is that, like, bigger it certainly doesn't mean easier, and it also doesn't necessarily mean better, and it also doesn't necessarily mean it's going to feel better. It just means bigger. So that's it. Stop inviting him to your gigs, man. Stop getting money with him if you don't want to see him grow. Stop putting money in his pocket. Stop putting your audience. George Santos shows up, says his George Santos shit, and he probably got to leave with, I don't know, let's say 5% of those people who watched that interview might have left thinking, I kind of like that guy. Something about him. He wears Ferragamo shoes. He's from Queens like me. He looks like me. He talks this way. He's this, he's that, whatever. Like,
he told the truth one time.
He told the truth one time. So he walks out of there with 5% more whatever. You know what I mean? 5% of the clicks on that show, he walks out of them with more behind him, more wind behind his sails, more people he can sell shit to, more people he can sell himself to. If you don't want to see him grow, Z-Way, he said it. Stop getting money with him. Okay. There will be an excellent reel cut out of that so that we can get our money. Morgan, can you please make sure that the landing point on that is like Z-Way tried to do a thing and no. The point is everybody got what they came for. Like, these two teammates made something quick. They did a quick show. They did a quick feature run together. They did a quick, what's the Drake Future album? They did a quick, What a Time to Be Alive. Got a quick come up off of it, and like that's the game. They're teammates. So whatever, we'll figure out how to do the narrative later. Okay, let's take a quick break, play some music. Morgan picked all the music today. The first song I characterized as it sounded like youth church music,
which was so spot on.
Let's see what the next song sounds like. We'll be right back.